For months, even years now, there have been rumors swirling around about at&t selling off a ton of their entertainment assets, and we have seen crazy rumors that absolutely none of us believed, but there were a lot of ones that seemed realistic, that seemed believable, that we've been talking about, and now we actually have some solid news to talk about in the front of at&t, DC Comics, Warner Brothers Games, because there is going to be a clash of titans. at&t's Warner Media and Discovery are actually merging, and that's what we're going to talk about in this video. Now, before we get started, if you enjoy the content that I create, please make sure to subscribe to the channel, share this video if you end up enjoying it, follow me on social media like Twitter or Minds for updates, and if you really like the videos and live streams I create, consider becoming a Dark Titan via Patreon for just $1 a month. All of the links are in the description, and of course, I appreciate all of the support. So this is a Cosmic Book News article. DC Comics and Warner Brothers Games sold an at&t Warner Media Discovery merger. Now, we don't know a lot about the Warner Brothers Games situation. I am going to talk about it a little bit later in the video. But it says details are slim at this point, but it is being reported that DC Comics and Warner Brothers Games have been sold off in some form as a result of a newly announced at&t Warner Media merger with Discovery. There have been a lot of rumors over the past couple of weeks that this was specifically going to happen, that Warner Media was going to be merging with another company. We didn't at the time know what company, but now apparently we do have a clue which one it's going to be. It says Monday saw some big news via Deadline that at&t has inked a deal to unload Warner Media, which will merge with Discovery and be led by Discovery's David Zaslav as chief executive, with Warner Media's Jason Kilar allegedly out the door. It says you can read the full press release below, which explains that as a result of the Warner Media and Discovery merger, a new and as of yet named company will be formed that unify brands such as CNN, TBS, TNT, HGTV, Food Network, Discovery Channel, Warner Brothers Movie Studios, and streaming services HBO Max and Discovery Plus. Regarding DC Comics and Warner Brothers Games, again, it is not confirmed, but it is claimed that sales include some of Warner Brothers Games and that DC Comics will be co-owned by Discovery along with Warner Brothers, and the deal is expected to go through mid-2022, so there, of course, is still a while to go, but worth a note is that the new company will not be run by someone from Warner Media or Warner Brothers. Now, we know that this isn't going to go through, like it says, until at least mid-2022, and that is not some crazy amount of time when it comes to mergers, because they take a long time to happen, but that doesn't mean that they haven't been talking to specifically Discovery for, a while now. They've probably been in talks for years with them. Look at Microsoft acquiring ZeniMax. It's not exactly the same situation, but they were in negotiations for 2 years at least before we heard anything. So could this have to do with the fact that G5 didn't do what they wanted? Yes, it could. I mean, DC Publishing seems to be only one part of this. I mean, they're talking about a change throughout all of the brands that they own, like CNN, TBS, TNT. I mean, the whole list is right here. There are a lot of different companies that are going to be shifted around now. So is this a symptom of just comic books not selling, or the DCEU failing and being cut, or is this just a bigger industry-wide problem where they're not making money? We know a little bit about this. We know that at&t's been cash-strapped, so this is clearly to rectify that problem, and DC Comics just wasn't making them enough money. So what's the future of something like DC Comics going to be? We just right now don't know. We don't know what the future of any of these are going to be, because all these articles are saying or that brands like CNN and TNT will be controlled by the newly formed company. We've got no clue what the structure of that looks like, and we might not until at least next year. So in my mind, until then, that means that something like DC Comics is sitting in limbo right now. Scrolling down though, there are a couple of tweets that I want to read. Someone said Warner Brother Games is getting broken up somehow due to AT&T's Warner Media Discovery sale / merger. Some of the gaming arm will stay with AT&T and some will go with the new company, reps tell Axios' Sarah Fisher. No further info. And then scrolling down, Julia Alexander said, correcting part of this tweet, this sale includes some of the Warner Bros. Interactive / Warner Bros. Games, but not all. The sale does include DC Comics. Discovery, through the new venture, will now effectively co-own DC Comics with Warner Brothers. So we have a little bit of a clue, because it does say that it's going to be like co-owned. But the thing is that we still don't know who specifically is going to run it. We don't know what they're going to do with the future of the company, with, content and whatnot. We don't have any of the fine details that genuinely do matter to consumers. So headed over to Stephen Totilo's tweets on this, I wanted to read a couple comments. Someone actually said, is this the reason why NetherRealm Studio has been acting all weird recently? And someone responded with saying it's not actually just them. All of the WB Games studios have been acting weird. NRS is silent. TT Games has barely been talking about their upcoming LEGO Star Wars game, other than the delay announcement, and no updates from Rocksteady on Suicide Squad, etc. Obviously, a lot of us didn't know this or realize this because we're not constantly checking studios' Twitters like NetherRealm or TT Games, stuff like that, but it does sound like they knew that something behind the scenes was going on and that something major was going to happen, a major shakeup was going to happen, which is probably why they've been silent over the past couple of weeks. Could this mean the end of publishing monthly periodic comics? Absolutely. Maybe that's not going to be the plan, though. Will we see more animated series or live-action universes? Could the future direction under whoever's going to end up controlling DC be an emphasis on live-action and animated movies and the end of published books? It could be, but right now, again, we really just have no idea. And if it is, do we even really care with the trash they've been publishing? I mean, they expect us to buy the garbage they've been releasing, and it's no wonder why it hasn't sold well. What we do see, though, is, people called it. Ethan Van Sciver called it. Clownfish TV called it, that AT&T would divest or sell DC Comics, and it looks like that's what's happening. Now, I understand that I'm talking a lot here about DC Comics and I'm really focusing on that aspect of this, but it is bigger than just DC. It's everything AT&T had under Warner. I'm just focusing a lot on DC because I know a lot about the company. This also includes things like Warner Brothers Games, which there were a ton of rumors that they were looking for a buyer for Warner Brothers Games, but they're actually going to be splitting up the studios between AT&T and the new company they're forming, which means Rocksteady, NetherRealm, Monolith, Warner Brothers Games Montreal are all up in the air. We have no clue who's going to get them. Look at Mortal Kombat. That is a huge property in, even just the gaming industry and the entertainment industry that are up in the air right now. I mean, even with the new movie not being very good, it still does matter. There's Gotham Knights. There's just a lot in the air we have really no details about. I'll definitely be interested to see what's going to happen here, but until then, that's all that I really had to discuss in the video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to give it a like, share it, and subscribe to the channel. And of course, if you didn't, make sure to give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I will talk to you all again in the next video really soon.